It's not fair!
We have a liftoff.
Hi, I'm Ricky.
I'm Jamie.
And today we're talking about what is fair and what isn't.
Raise your hand if you've ever said, it's not fair.
Come on, that should be every single hand. We've all said that at some point in time in our life.
Studies show that our idea of what's fair and not fair starts at the age of 3 or 4.
Wow, that's pretty young. Yeah, so if you're a 3 or 4-year-old, welcome to the internet. You know what's fair and what's not fair, like ending the segment. Totally unfair. A lot of things that we had planned, it's not fair. Why would you end it? Why would you end this segment like that? It's not fair.
That's not fair. Oh, come on, that's not fair. Oh, come on, that's not fair. That's not fair. Come on, Chanel. That's not fair. Ugh. Come on, that's not fair. Yeah?
Hey, it's time to go to bed already.
How come Christopher doesn't have to go to bed?
Because Christopher doesn't have school tomorrow.
That's not fair.
You guys, I've been at an amusement park all day, and I just stood in line for 2 hours, and the ride broke down. Done. They were like, you guys should better leave. Guys, I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to grab whatever was in my reach and start throwing it everywhere. Because you know what? It's not fair. Okay, it wasn't really 2 hours, more like an hour and 15 minutes, but still, that's basically the same thing. And you know what? It's not fair. It's not fair. And then I got to thinking. What I'm saying when I say this isn't fair is this isn't fair for me. This isn't fair for the 115 minutes that I spent waiting in line for this ride. Rather than thinking about the attendant who's been working here all day, who now has to deal with 200 people that want to rip his head off. But really, Jesus calls us to something else, right? He calls us to think about other people more than we think about ourselves. What's fair for that attendant? What's fair for someone else? You see, we've got another word for fairness, right? We call it justice. Justice is thinking about what is fair for someone else. That's not fair for me, or that's not fair for someone else. Someone cuts in line in front of me, I'm gonna be all kinds of up in arms. But what if I cut in front of the person behind me? Am I gonna have that same reaction? Am I gonna be thinking about what's fair for that person? What about when your sister gets blamed for something that you did? Is that fair for her? What are you gonna do? You gonna let her take the fall for it, or are you gonna fight for what's fair for her, even if it costs you something? How about the next time you're upset that you didn't get a hoverboard for your birthday? You think about what's fair for your parents who worked their butts off to make the money to get you what you did get. Why don't we think about someone else? You know, guys, that takes courage. It takes a lot of courage. Because listen, I'm a small person. You can't see it. I'm like 4'11". I'm a small person. If I don't look out for myself, who's gonna do it? But in thinking about myself, I'm missing an opportunity to love someone to Jesus. So instead of taking this time to feel upset, throw things, and cry, why not take an opportunity to connect with the attendant, to make their day, to let them know that, yeah, someone might be a jerk to you because of something that's not your fault. Don't miss opportunities to fight for fairness for someone else.
Today we are justice come to life.
Do we look like Lady Justice?
Flawless execution. So typically Lady Justice is blindfolded to show that justice is impartial and equal.
To demonstrate that, we are going to do a blind justice challenge.
In the blind justice challenge, we have 1 minute on the clock, and wearing blindfolds, we have to choose blocks to place on the scale to equal 1 pound. You can't talk to each other about what you're choosing. Place the weighted blocks on the scale in front of you. The goal is to make both scales be equal, because whatever the difference is between the two scales is the weight of crickets. Must eat.
Oh, that must be what these are back here for.
That's what those crickets are for. Okay. Oh, don't look at it.
It looks so bad.
Don't look at it. Don't. Okay.
Oh, it doesn't smell as bad as you'd think.
Don't smell them.
Oh, they still have their eyes. That bothers me.
They look like crickets.
It smells like dog food.
Okay, so let's get blindfolded.
Oh, blindfolds, right. Oh, and blindfold check.
How many fingers am I holding up?
I don't know.
Great.
Okay, so let's start the challenge. Is there a minute on the clock? Yep. Great. Oh, we're going. Are we going? We're going.
I have a feeling we are both gonna eat a substantial amount of crickets today. I don't know how much things weigh.
Whoa.
Oh no, okay. Wait, I think, ooh, that feels too heavy. That feels, oh no.
Ah! Okay, that's my guess.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with that.
The sound of our impending doom.
Okay.
My crown!
All right,
And my beanie.
let's take a look.
How did we do? Oh, what'd you do?
No, I was so far off. I had 9 ounces. You were so close,
I was
Jamie.
decently close.
Mine's at 9. Jamie's is like at 14.
So that's 5 ounces of crickets that you guys have to eat between the two of you.
I've doomed us all, JB. I'm so sorry.
You guys were close. The right answer is this one, and that one makes a pound. Ooh, snacks. Who's ready for a pop quiz? Hey, it's Quizman. Those are awful. I hit a hard part. I'm the Quizman. It's still in my teeth. Lady Justice, what a gal. She's typically depicted with 4 things. Which of these things is she not typically depicted with? Is it A, a blindfold, B, a clock, C, a scale, or D, a sword? Did you pay attention to that last bit? If you said A and you paid attention to that last bit, you didn't pay attention to that last bit. If you said B, then you are correct. Lady Justice is typically depicted with a blindfold to be impartial, a scale for balance, and a sword for authority. That's how the world depicts justice. How does the Bible depict justice? Let's cut right here and go do something else so I can get some water for that cricket taste in my mouth.
If you were a praying mantis, it would be socially acceptable to devour your mate.
And if you're a honey badger, you have no regard for other animals. You don't care.
If you're a panda with twins, it's normal to abandon one to take care of the other.
But if humans do any of these things, we would call it wrong, unfair, or unjust.
Yeah, why is that? Why do humans care so much about justice?
Well, the Bible has a fascinating response to that question. On page 1, humans are set apart from all other creatures as the image of God.
Yeah, God's representatives who rule the world by his definition of good and evil.
And this identity, it's the bedrock of the Bible's view of justice. All humans are equal before God and have the right to be treated with dignity and fairness no matter who you are.
And that would be nice if we all did that. But we know how the world really works.
And the Bible addresses that too. It shows how we are constantly redefining good and evil to our own advantage at the expense of others.
Yeah, self-preservation. And the weaker someone is, the easier it is to take advantage of them.
And so in the biblical story, we see this happening on a personal level, but also in families, and then in communities, and in whole civilizations that create injustice, especially towards the vulnerable. But the story doesn't end there. Out of this whole mess, God chose a man named Abraham to start a new kind of family. Specifically, Abraham was to teach his family to keep the way of the Lord by doing righteousness and justice.
Yeah, doing righteousness, that's a Bible word I don't really use, but what comes to mind is being a good person.
But what does that even mean, being good? The biblical Hebrew word for righteousness is tzedakah, and it's more specific. It's an ethical standard that refers to right relationships between people. It's about treating others as the image of God,
with the God-given dignity they deserve.
And this word justice, it's the Hebrew word mishpat. It can refer to retributive justice.
Like if I steal something, I pay the consequences.
Exactly. Yet most often in the Bible, mishpat refers to restorative justice. It means going a step further, actually seeking out vulnerable people who are being taken advantage of and helping them.
Yeah, some people call this charity.
But mishpat involves way more. It means taking steps to advocate for the vulnerable and changing social structures to prevent injustice.
So justice and righteousness are about a radical, selfless way of life.
Yeah, and you find this idea all over the Bible.
So we all participate in injustice, actively or passively, even unintentionally. We're all the guilty ones.
And so this is the surprising message of the biblical story. God's response to humanity's legacy of injustice is to give us a gift, the life of Jesus. He did righteousness and justice, and yet he died on behalf of the guilty. But then God declared Jesus to be the righteous one when he rose from the dead. And so now Jesus offers his life to the guilty so that they too can be declared righteous before God, not because of anything they've done, but because of what Jesus did for them.
The earliest followers of Jesus experienced this righteousness from God, not just as a new status, but as a power that changed their lives and compelled them to act in surprising new ways.
Yeah, if God declared someone righteous when they didn't deserve it, the only reasonable response is to go and seek righteousness and justice for others.
This is a radical way of life, and it's not always convenient or easy. It's courageously making other people's problems my problems.
This is what Jesus meant by loving your neighbor as yourself. It's about a lifetime commitment fueled by the words of the ancient prophet Micah. God has told you, humans, what is good, and what the Lord requires of you is to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
Hey guys, my name is Andre Austin, and it takes courage to love your neighbor and to make their troubles your troubles. But how do we do it? We take off the blindfold. Pray for God to open your eyes to justice around you. Where do you see it in action? And where do you see it lacking? The Bible says in Micah chapter 6, verse 8, that the Lord has shown you what is good. He has told you what he requires of you. You must treat people fairly. I'm gonna say that one more time. You must treat people fairly. You must love others faithfully, and you must be very careful to live the way your God wants you to. God requires us to treat people fairly. All people, every last one.
This cricket's name is Hampton. He had dreams of being a potato farmer, and now he is here on the Loop Show. All right, let's divvy him up.
All right, 1 cup, 2 cup. All right, so
keep it going. Yeah, a little bit more. You know what? A lot bit more.
a lot of it more?
Yep, not even to 1 ounce yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, keep going. Do double that and a half. Not even to 2 ounces yet, so keep it going.
All the like cricket residue is just coating my fingers. One is staring at me, it's going in your cup.
A little bit more. All right, that's it.
That's almost an entire cup of cricket.
That's 2.5 ounces? No! Jamie, no. That's not how ounces work. It can't be how ounces work.
This is just awful.
Oh my gosh, I need quite a bit more.
Yeah, it's always easier to see what you're doing whenever you're not blindfolded.
Yeah.
I don't even drink this much of water in one sitting, let alone a cup full of crickets.
See, I would have much preferred it if we did it the other way, where we had to measure an ounce of crickets, otherwise we had to eat blocks. That would make this challenge a lot easier. But okay, hey, bottoms up, Jamie, let's go for it. 2.5 ounces of crickets.
For the Loop Show.
For the Loop Show. You know what?
What?
I'm just gonna use my imagination.
I just went for it. I just went for it.
These are delicious sunflower seeds that we are just consuming. And not at all
Oh, that was
crickets.
spicy. That was spicy. Oh, I feel kind of bad. Oh, his eyeballs were like, I don't know, it felt slippery, but that's not right.
Not looking at them is great. Not looking at them is great.
It's falling out of my mouth.
Jamie, all you gotta do, just fix your mind on the idea. But these are just sunflower seeds. These are just, you're eating peanuts. They're so good. Jamie. Just don't look at it. Just look at me. Let's have a conversation and enjoy some crickets.
It's really just like the flavor and the texture that's getting me. Tasted like cricket.
Trail mix. It's just like trail mix. Like a bunch of crunched up trail mix. It's just like that. It'll change this whole experience. Bottoms up, Jamie. Let's go for the rest of them. So that's time to think about something not being fair. Ask yourself, am I eating crickets right now? Probably not.
If you open up your eyes, you can see the way that God designed justice and fairness. Clearly, you can see it. God, take off your, oh, I spit one. It's in my hair. It's in my hair. Open up your eyes. Justice is a beautiful thing.
Enjoy it!
Blech. Oh.
All right, that's a cut. You
A
have,
cut?
You have earned a break.
A what?
Some water. And
That was a what?
Oh, man.